Hi, I'm Deborah Stevens, live from Austin, Texas. It's Sunday night, October 14th. This is the Jeff Davis Show, and we have an action-packed show for you tonight. We're going to show some videos. I'm going to show some video of our client running off the IRS with a video camera, okay, the deadliest weapon on the planet. We're going to discuss how strategies of how to take the IRS down in state criminal court. And then Sasan and Vince are going to talk about roads and why we don't need the government for roads. And then we're going to be taking your calls.
That's it. Yeah.
All right.
I have some classic videos, folks.
And we're going to be taking Terry's call if he calls in.
Yes. We're waiting for legendary Terry Liberty Parker to call in. And this might be him. So let's go ahead and bring it up. We're having some problems with one of the cameras here, folks, obviously. Okay, welcome. Hello?
Guys.
Terry!
That's me.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Hey, and this is me out of the medication stuff now.
Good.
You have
Good.
You have Deborah up here, and you also have Vince May.
Yep. And for the first time, beyond dealing with the medication stuff. So that's what's new today.
Great.
I don't know what you guys are wanting to do right now, but we're free to do almost anything now.
You mean?
Great.
What do you mean, as far as coming down?
Well, yeah, we could do that eventually too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You betcha. But I just wanted to let you know we're beyond the medication stuff now. Now we're able to do our own stuff. Of course, I still have my problems as far as speech and all of that kind of stuff. But that stuff will pass. And we're way ahead of where we used to be. And what?
Terry,
we
you
want
sound
to thank
great.
Vince for
he does.
Vince Sasan for this this weekend. That's right. So there's gonna be a whole bunch of new stuff that's happening.
What did Sasan do this weekend?
Well, he took us on a road trip.
Excellent.
You'll find out. You guys will get there.
We're doing some. We're trying to adjust the color. Here we go. That's it, Jeff.
Anyway, well, this is just the beginning. We'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to put a kibosh on what you're doing right now. I just let you know we're free from the other stuff now, and I ought to say, I ought to give what's her name a chance here.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Rita.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Great.
We had a great weekend. Terry took a few road trips for the first time in 2.5 months. Thanks to Sasan, he drove us out to the lake, and we got to get a little sun on Terry. And today, Vince and I did something we hadn't done in 2.5 months with Terry. We went to H-E-B.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Now, Terry wanted a lot of food.
That's right.
Excellent.
That's right.
So, Terry, you're getting out and about now.
You betcha.
Excellent. Yes.
Betcha. All right. So we'll be coming up with this stuff very soon here. I guess we'll be organizing something, and so that's what's happening now.
Great.
Okay, we're to sit back and watch the show. I understand that you got a lot of good stuff, and I can tell you right now, you're one of the best shows on Packed.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you guys, take care.
Love you.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, folks, I guess we'll... Hey, unless anybody's got any comments, you got anything to say, Vince?
Yeah, I guess everybody knows by now that we're going to have toll roads here in Central Texas. The majority of our political leaders, actually I think all of them, sold us down the river. There were 4 that voted against it, but they didn't really do anything to prevent it. They just, showed up and voted I'm opposed to it, but they never did anything to try to stop it.
Well, they did stop them in Williamson County, you said.
Well, that was part of the plan.
Only Travis County now is building more toll roads.
Right. And,
Wow.
and Travis
Amazing.
County money will end up building roads in Williamson County.
So Travis County taxpayers become tax slaves to the Williamson County. So that's but the reason why Vince brought that up, I think, is they're going to give a presentation on private roads, and that their logic is, their issue is that we don't need government roads.
That's right. That's
Sounds
exactly
like
right.
a good idea to me.
Okay, and let's just head straight to the videos then, folks. We got a lot of videos. Deborah's coming up here. We got Land of No Return, about 100th encore presentation.
And this is an exclusive video.
Exclusive.
No one, and the only people who have seen this video are my client and Randy and myself. And our client gave permission to air it on the Jeff Davis Show, and then we'll be posting it on YouTube. But we want to air it first here on the Jeff Davis Show.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome, of course.
Okay, folks, we'll be back probably in about 20 minutes, so keep it right here. There we go. Perfect. Now.
New people in Washington.
Well, be curious later on to talk more about how you would propose that we break out of that gridlock specifically, but now let's turn to Mr. Davis and hear what he has to say about the Persian Gulf situation.
Well, Tom, you actually took away quite a little bit of my fire there when you're talking about the cynicism approaching this particular issue. I have publicly, immediately when the U.S. invaded, when U.S. moved into Kuwait, came out publicly against this military buildup in Kuwait. To analyze the situation, Mr. Bauer should know this, but we only get 8% of our oil from that particular region. Okay, most of our imported oil is from Mexico and Venezuela. You take countries like Germany, Japan, where they are almost virtually dependent upon that oil in the Middle East. They should be the ones protecting their interests if it's in their interest. I just don't think that, with the way the situation is right now, we don't need that oil. We do, but then again, we don't. Estimates are that if we were to dig up and manufacture the oil in our country right now, the domestic U.S., we would have enough oil in this country for 125 years. Not only that, you throw on the alternative energy sources. I just don't believe this is good policy. The United States should not be the world's cop for Germany and Japan and these other countries that are dependent upon that oil. So I think the whole movement, military buildup in Kuwait was political. You had a recession coming on. It's an election year. You had defense installations getting cut, getting closed. You had congressmen getting their bases closed in their districts. I think this thing was politically motivated. It's dangerous and needs to end now before we start sending our young people back in body bags.
All right. Another challenge that the United States faces abroad is a very quickly changing world picture and adapting to those changes. The most dramatic evidence there in the past several years, of course, is what's happened in Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union in particular. Dramatic changes there. How would you propose that we react to those changes, especially given the extremely high expenditure we have militarily? Would you propose budget cuts for the military, given the reduced threat from the Soviet Union? David?
Yes, we have to. We are really in the middle of an economic war right now, and the Cold War, in my opinion, is enough to reduce the defense buildup or defense establishment we have in Europe. We have to do it. We can't support. Right now, we're almost in an equal buildup in the Persian Gulf to the number of troops that we have in Europe. It has to stop fairly soon. We have to maintain, I think, first of all, keeping open the sea lines of communication through the Navy. And I think that we need to make a phased withdrawal from Europe. But fundamentally, this country's in an economic war. And whether we want to fight it or not, we're in it, and we have to start fighting it.
And Jeff, let's hear from you in regards to any changes that you would propose vis-a-vis our relationship with the Soviet Union or our NATO alliance.
Well, that's another issue where I've come out publicly. Constitutionally in this country, as citizens. We are guaranteed a strong defense of this country. And I believe that the citizens of this country should pay and provide for a strong defense in this country. However, what I don't believe is that we should, as citizens, pay and provide for a strong defense of this country and 100 other countries. And that's essentially what we're doing. Right now, we're defending Thailand, the Philippines, Korea, Japan, Germany, Italy. In my mind, in my view, there's no way you can justify to anybody taxing the American people to pay for the defense of other nations. Right now, taxes are too high on the working people, and I think predominantly we should close most of those bases overseas and worry about defending the domestic United States.
Thank you, Jeff. David, you mentioned economic warfare. Of course, the first thing that leaps in most people's minds when they hear that is our competition with Japan, which...
He doesn't want to talk about it either. And it just seems like they're all keeping their mouth shut, which means to me that they're all, planning towards, the pro-right or the ultra-right.
Let me give you a real good example of essentially what's going on right now. This movement of people that are like me that are trying to keep America, some sort of freedom fighters is what I call myself. For example, GE, who is one of the largest defense contractors in the world, owns NBC News. Okay, so when they were discussing the Persian Gulf War throughout the coverage, they were in a sense glorifying their own weapons when they were talking about certain weapons, arsenal and different things that they were using. NBC was essentially, glorifying their own weapons that GE, in fact, made, developed and created. This drug war, the Partnership for a Drug-Free America, if anybody cares to do research on who's funding that, you'll find that it's Dow Chemical, a lot of these chemical companies that have a direct interest in keeping the hemp plant from becoming legalized and used as a viable source of energy, fuel, paper pulp, as it was used just 75 years ago and beyond that time. The hemp is very well known to have all kinds of useful resource, as far as technology and these types of things, fuel, paper pulp, even in some medical instances with glaucoma and these types of things. And but people are going to jail for the fact that Dow, whoever's running Dow Chemical and these chemical companies are just spending millions of dollars of propaganda to keep people focused, to keep people thinking that drugs are bad, harmful, and we have to keep them illegal. People are going to jail for that. People are getting their assets seized for this, just so hemp is not introduced into a free market situation.
I have 9 years total military Air Force experience. 4 years as an engine mechanic on B-52s, and my last 2 years of active duty, I was what they call a logistics planner. I was responsible for maintaining the equipment and personnel that Bergstrom would deploy to a classified, predetermined destination overseas. And I'm currently back in the engine shop with the 924th Tactical Fighter Group as an engine mechanic.
All right. Well, you were running against Jake Pickle, the incumbent congressman. What do you think about Jake?
Well, Jake is an institution. He 27 years in Congress. Jake he's a classic pork barreler, I like to call him, where that pumps a bunch of funds into his district. And part of the problem is the people in each district want that. They want additional funds for economic impacts and things like this.
They want something for nothing.
Right. But the problem is when you have 434 other congressmen across the United States doing this type of concentrated effort to stay reelected, then it adds up to a terrific bill, which is exactly why we have our tremendous federal budget deficits annually and our national debt.
So that's something that you would like to do something about, is to cut down on all these pork barrel.
No, I was sitting in. Jeff Davis is a really nice guy. I was really surprised. I was like, man, he used to scare me. He used to scare me walking through here because he's such a big guy, and he would look at me, he wouldn't say anything. Man, that guy hates me.
Are you videotaping us to send to the shadow government? I'm scared now. Oh, yeah, now you're getting some extra play here, guys. Some extra play.
Come on, guys.
When is your show?
Come on.
Behind the scenes.
10:30 on Wednesdays. 10:30 every Wednesday.
And what show are you watching right now?
We're watching the Jeff Davis show, and he's on a new time slot, by the way. Every Tuesday at 9 to 12. Watch Jeff Davis. The man is a radical. He's not afraid to tell you the truth. It's out there. The truth is out there. You just got to get to the bottom of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
FBI can kill us, but they won't get him.
That's right. Hey, we love it. Hey, that's good for Mike.
One week later. FBI is actually watching this show. I know the FBI is watching this show. I'm sorry. President, FBI, we love the government. I love the government. I rock the vote. That's what I do. You go. That's big part of it. Jeff Davis, watch the show. Jeff Davis, man. It is a cool show. Comes on. Now the time has changed. Tuesdays from 9 to 12. The man actually has 3 hours, so I get and he wants to live. Yeah, and he knows what he's talking about. So check it out, man. The truth is out there. The truth is out there. All right, so let's go on to our next movie. This is Tony's movie, actually.
For a second.
Yeah, Dad, what is it?
The world's gotten out of hand, so I decided to blow it up tomorrow.
Oh, wait, blow it up? Isn't that a little harsh? I'm supposed supposed to return to Earth, remember?
Return or schmurn. Besides, those people are so out of touch with reality.
Maybe you're the one who's out of touch, Dad.
Youth. So idealistic. So naive. Seems like only yesterday you were...
Dad, I'm like 2,000 years old.
All right already. Go return to your people. But you have one chance, and that's it.
There's good in this world, Dad. You'll see. I'll show you.
We bring you a special news bulletin from KA News.
Reports of Jesus sightings have been popping up all over the land. Son of God or imposter. We'll keep you up to date as this story develops.
Hey, Jesus, what's up, man?
Not much. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I've just been drinking a little bit, but hey, I'm not drunk. And I want to let you know, whenever I'm not in the bar, I'm in church. Every Sunday.
Today is Sunday.
Hey, let me ask you this. Is smoking the tweet a sin?
If I said yes, would you stop?
Hey, look at the time. I gotta get going. I have a meeting with my gardener about some weed. I need to ask my gardener about some weeds in my garden. But hey, man, you keep it real. Have a good one.
Oh my God, you're Jesus.
That would be me.
What was the name of that book you wrote?
I never wrote it.
What was the name of it? What was the name of it? Is it the discotheque?
You mean the Bible?
Duh. Okay, so anyway, you know how you parted the Red Sea?
What?
Okay, so you parted the Red Sea. My father has red hair, and he parts it down the middle. How fucking cool is that?
They say I'm a main man. Oh, what's the shoes there, Jesus? That's imported albino crocodile from Burma.
I'm sorry.
Forget about it. My name's Andrew Copperdinger. You can call me Big Tex.
Okay.
Look here, I've got an idea for a TV show that's going to make us filthy rich.
TV show?
Actually, it's a reality show. Okay? So if somebody on stage brings up a certain predicament.
Check this out, man. I was at this party the other night. This foreign-ass bitch was throwing her titties and her ass off in my face and shit, dude.
Crowd yells, what would Jesus do? And then you shed some sort of light on the subject.
Jesus dogs! Get your Jesus dogs! Can't go to heaven unless you get your Jesus dogs. Jesus! You want a wiener?
No! I do not want a wiener!
The National Atheist Conference is protesting against Jesus, saying that since they don't believe in God, then obviously there can't be a Jesus. The Black Militant Ministers Association is also here in protest, and they say, and I quote, Jesus is not a cracker, he is a black man. And that's just some of the many organizations who are protesting against Jesus out here today. And in related news, Rob, the religious right is lobbying Congress to ban robes, facial hair, and flip-flops. I'm sorry, that's sandals inside strip clubs to prevent any further embarrassment from Jesus in the future. I'm Leslie Alvarez with KH News. Back to you, Rob.
Son.
Save it, Dad.
screen with both cameras.
There he is. Go ahead.
There's Gary. Wave to the camera. Gary. Hey there, this is Gary Teague here, actor, producer for the Jeff Davis Show. He's been on 25 episodes of NBC's Friday Night Lights. Google Gary Teague. Talent extraordinaire. Cameraman, producer. He's on camera, behind the scenes, on stage. He does it all, folks. That's our very own Gary Teague. Yeah! Honor to work with the man. All right, I'm Deborah Stevens from the Three Shoes Posse Band, and I just wanted to plug my gigs that we've got coming up. Every week, every Wednesday night from 9 to midnight, we are now playing at the Chuggin' Monkey on 6th Street, 219 East 6th Street, okay, which is a few doors down from Maggie Mae's. People who live in Austin know where that is. San Jacinto at 6. And this was organized and booked by the Ron Paul Meetup Group here in Austin, a very own Ron Paul Meetup Group, actually by Nathan Stang. Alan Stang's son got this gig for us. If people know who Alan Stang is, the Sting of Stang. Okay, writer. He's a writer and an activist. And so we'll be there every Wednesday night, and people come out, bring your signs. We had a great time last Wednesday. We were dancing in the streets, dancing on the sidewalk. Everybody had their Ron Paul signs, and it was an educational experience for all. Everyone had a good time. And I'm going to be showing a video tonight, exclusive video, that our client in Randy Kelton and my client in Pennsylvania, we're helping him and others fight the IRS, and he took a video. He brought out the video camera when some people who were purporting to be IRS agents were harassing the man on his property, okay? And in Pennsylvania, when you ask someone to leave your property 3 times, if you don't leave, it's a felony. So we're going to be filing charges against these people, and very interesting situation. So I'd like to go to this video now, a short 4-minute video of the IRS agents being chased off the property by the camera. Okay, can we go to the laptop?
All right.
Huh? Okay. Ja, ich sa nichts, ich sa. Your name?
Yes, sir. Would you agree to answer some more questions, Mr.?
Your name?
Would you agree to answer some more questions?
Oh, you're in private property, you don't.
Okay, well, if you don't want to answer questions, we will leave.
Okay.
Okay.
Your name?
You can get your business card soon.
I'll give you a business card.
What's your name?
Mike Castellano. Okay.
No, you're in private property, sir. No, you're in private property.
Who owns the property?
It's on private property. August the 30th at 4:43, 4 IRS agents were here, and basically they were left now. They were here maybe 5-10 minutes. So we'll talk about it later.
So that was a video our client made. The IRS agents acted dramatically different once the camera was brought out. Beforehand, they were harassing them and trying to ask them all kinds of questions. And when they were refused to answer, the agents would say, well, we need to read you your rights. And so then our client went and got the video camera and basically told them, you're on private property. And as I was saying before, if you tell someone to leave your property in Pennsylvania 3 times and they don't leave, that is belligerent trespass, which is a felony. Okay, and so interestingly enough, as you see, they didn't want to identify themselves really. In this video, you saw the one guy give our client a card, a business card. Well, actually, 2 of the other agents gave our client the same card. The 3 of them identified themselves as the same person. Oddly enough, one of them was a woman identifying herself as a man with the same card. And so what is going to happen in this case is we're going to be filing criminal complaint against these people and against the person, whoever's card it is, and the chief of police in this area has already contacted the IRS to confirm, is this even really a real person, okay? Because who knows if ultimately if these were even really IRS agents, could have just been a gang of thugs representing themselves as agents trying to stake the place out.
How can you tell the difference?
How can you tell the difference? Well, it's the same thing, really. You know, they're a gang of thieves, murderous gang of thieves. So the strategy here that Randy and I are proposing and dealing with is to bring federal agents into state criminal court. Forget about suing them, because what's going to happen is the feds will grab up jurisdiction and we won't have a chance because the federal courts are so broken right now. But in state criminal court, the feds can't grab the jurisdiction. In criminal matters, okay, they cannot grab up the case, all right? The state prosecutor will prosecute, the state courts have jurisdiction in this matter. It's kind of like if an IRS agent runs a red light on the way to seize someone's property. He's on his own. The feds can't hire a lawyer to help him fight the ticket or anything else. He's got to deal with the municipal courts. So what we want to do is we're going to be filing criminal complaints for these people for trespassing charges and breaking other state laws regarding what they're doing in their system of trying to basically illegally seize people's properties. There's a number of things. We can even get it into the federal venue. Eventually, we're going to go after them for mail fraud, for sending sending notices of liens and deficiencies through the mail illegally, which is mail fraud. So when the postmaster goes after them, he's not going to care. So the idea is to get these people out of their normal jurisdiction, out of their usual venue, because especially dragging them into state courts is a great strategy, because in general the feds treat the state officials, the state public servants, like errant stepchildren. And so for the state court systems and for the state officials to have a chance at taking down some federal officials, they just are jumping at the chance to deal with that. So that's the strategy that we're going after, and we'll be discussing more about that.
Rule of law. Put that up one more time. Get rule of law. You can get more information.
And the thing is, when you file a criminal complaint, you're in a very safe place, because the whole criminal justice system is geared to protecting the victim. Anything they do after you file a criminal complaint can be construed as retaliation, which is yet another felony against them. So filing criminal complaints is a really good way to go, because you have all the protection of the system on your side.
And right there it is, folks. You can get more information. You can either listen live Thursdays and Fridays, or I'm going to have you next to Vance, because you're going to be talking.
Well, I got to be at the laptop.
Oh, okay. Well, Vance, why don't you come over here? Stuff. Rule of law, folks. Right there it is. Thursdays, Fridays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be taking your calls here real quick. So, Son and Vince, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a little something I got to talk about. You probably heard us on the show talk about that concentration camp that's up there in Taylor, Texas, about 30 miles northeast of here. Basically, that's where they've got all the illegal immigrants' families locked up while they figure out what to do with them. Talk about men, women, children locked up in there for the crime of not having the right paperwork. And I'm really sick and tired, because I've had callers call in before and try to justify this, say it's okay because supposedly they're being treated okay. That somehow because they're getting 3 square meals a day and they're not being tortured, that it's okay. Well, it's not. You know, I don't care if they're sleeping on king-size Tempur-Pedic mattresses and have servants. It doesn't change the fact that you took away their individual liberty. You imprisoned them for no reason other than that they don't have the proper paperwork. And to drive that point home, to illustrate how corrupt this really is, I read an article in the Statesman, and Jeff, could you put the article up on the screen? This is an article I saw in the Austin American Statesman a couple days ago, talking about how Williamson County, where this detention facility is, they were about to terminate the contract with the facility, in essence shutting it down, because they were afraid of all the legal ramifications. They were afraid of being sued. It was going to happen. The place was going to get shut down. At the last moment, the company that operates this facility, called Correction Corporation of America, made a deal with Wilco. They said, if you let us stay open, we'll cover any legal costs you may incur, plus we'll give you $250,000 on top of it. Guess what? It stayed open. And it just, I'm sure you've heard us talk over and over again about the corruption in Williamson County. We all know how corrupt they are. If this operation is making Williamson County nervous, that just goes to show you exactly how corrupt it is. If even Williamson County is nervous about the legal ramifications of what could happen.
I wanted to mention quickly, I've read an article in the Houston Chronicle newspaper yesterday, and this ICE organization, the ones that supposedly go after the illegal aliens, according to the newspaper, but they're building, they just got $1 billion federal contract. They're building these detention facilities now across America, supposedly for the illegal aliens. And all I wanted to say is that, folks, I think that you all, the ones that are advocating things like, you know, putting these people in camps and controlling panhandlers and all these things that you're doing as far as controlling and putting people away in these camps, I think it'd be a good idea for you to study history a little bit, because this particular federal government has, for all practical purposes, suspended habeas corpus. They're doing increased surveillance, increased wiretapping. They got the sneak and peek provision that's in the Patriot Act. They're doing all of these things, plus building all of these detention facilities, folks. So I think that some of the viewers of this program should really should reevaluate their positions and some of their advocacies, because folks, you potentially could be advocating your own demise.
Right. Just because you're not the persecuted minority right now doesn't mean you won't be in the future.
By giving the federal government this much power to do what they're doing is it's unprecedented too. Never have I seen concentrate stories in the Houston Chronicle about concentration camps being built in America.
Just keep in mind the old rule. Whatever.
I read it myself. Yeah. I was stunned.
When was this that was in the Chronicle?
Yesterday.
Oh my God.
Houston Chronicle. $1 billion grant to build these detention facilities all across America, supposedly for illegal aliens.
Yeah, this goes to the old rule: whatever power you give government to do for you, you also give them the same power to do against you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It goes both ways, and that brings us to the next topic. We're all libertarians here at this table, and as diverse a group as libertarians are, they can pretty much agree on one thing: government's no good, and the less we have, the better. But not all libertarians are willing to take it all the way to what I think is the logical conclusion of no government at all. And there are several reasons for this. Number one is the persistent myth that somehow freedom is chaos. But another thing is, a lot of people think that government is good for some things, and the main excuse I hear why government should exist is roads. I've heard a lot of libertarians say that, yeah, government's bad, but they do roads okay, and we should keep government around just for the fact that for our infrastructure. Well, I've been researching that very topic for the past couple months, trying to poke holes in it. I've poked quite a few holes in it. If you just look at history, the history of roads, and how they're maintained before state control, you'll see that people got along, just fine without it. People build their own roads, they maintain them, and there was very rarely any problems with that. And the only real problems came along when the government started to interfere with that, when they started trying to prohibit who could build what roads. And a lot of people, when they think of private roads, they say, well, yeah, that sounds good, but wouldn't a private road and private property mean the owner has ability to limit traffic on the road? Does that mean that the owner could cut off traffic and say you can't pass here and this road's only for specific uses? And that's true. Technically, since it's private property, the owner of that property can control it. However, if we look at history, that was rarely the case. Even though it was private property, people were allowed to freely commerce on that road, and there weren't any problems there, because they understood that if you allow other people to use your road, that they in turn would be obliged to let you use their road. That's just the way it was. And Vince, I know you have some comments on this too.
Yeah, one fear that people express about having roads in private hands is that some mega corporation would buy up the roads and they would control them and set the rates, the prices, whatever their pricing mechanism is. But that's not necessarily what we would have to do. There are a lot of options. For instance, I live out in far east Travis County, and there's my water company is not government owned like it is here in Austin. And in Austin, they charge a 12% tax, which is given to the city of Austin to go and spend and do what they want with it. My corporation was built, constructed, put together by the people that live out in Bastrop County and the other counties that participate. Everybody out there gets their water from Aqua Water Corporation, and I think it's the biggest one in the United States. I pay $20 a month for water. You pay more if you use more. But the system works just fine to have a private corporation that was set up by the people who needed it. There was no big mega corporation that wanted to build one at that time. My electric power comes from a co-op. and it's a Blue Bonnet Co-op out west of Austin. You have Pedernales Co-op, and I'm an owner in both corporations. I own a share of stock in each corporation. With the roads, I could see one mechanism that the state could divest itself of the roads. The state could issue one share of stock, 23 million shares, one for every person in Texas, and that person becomes an owner, a share owner in that corporation, and from there the corporation takes control, has a management structure that's hired and takes control of the state highways and state roads. And we take care of, building and maintaining new roads. We don't need government people to do that. And if I don't, if I move out of Texas, or at some point I don't want to be a shareholder, I can sell it my share to somebody else. And by that time, we'll know what the worth of the shares are, because the market will be created. Whereas right now, the way the state does it, or wants to do it, is to just sell the roads to corporations. How do you know what the value of a road is? How can the state charge the appropriate fee? Invariably, the corporation's going to get it at a steal. So there are many different mechanisms to privatize and eliminate government. And it's not no government, then it's self-government. You govern yourself.
And for those that are worried about corporations getting monopoly, they should understand that monopolies only come about through the state.
Yeah.
That through the government. That if you look back through history, any time a company or a corporation has become abusive in its power, it is through the government. It's because it infiltrated the right areas of government and was able to bend the laws in their favor. And another thing to remember is a corporation itself is a legal entity. It's defined by the government. It cannot exist without the government. The government determines its structure. It determines how it operates. It determines its finances. Everything about it is government controlled.
And it also subsidizes money.
That's right.
Corporate welfare is huge.
That's right. And subsidies do more to unbalance market forces than pretty much anything else. Take a look at General Motors. If it wasn't for government subsidies, how long ago do you think that company would have collapsed? Probably a long time ago, but every time it's about to go bankrupt, the government comes in, funnels tens of billions of dollars of our money, and props it up. So instead of that company failing and other companies rising to take its place, you have this one company being sustained by government when it should have failed a long time ago. So keep in mind that these monopolies and these abusive corporations that everyone is afraid of, they do it through the government. They cannot do it without government, and that's very important to understand.
Okay, folks, I think we're ready for some calls.
Yeah, we got the lines. Can you put the number up, Jeff?
Yeah, Google Jeff Davis Show for folks that have access to the internet. Google search Jeff Davis Show, Yahoo search, AOL search, and you can watch. We've got 2.5 years of archived playbacks up there. You'll see a banner that says click here to watch the past shows. There's also a YouTube link for the YouTubes we've got up, and all kinds of things. So Google Jeff Davis Show. And once again, I want to mention Deborah's radio show, The Rule of Law, WTPRN.com. And I also want to congratulate her every Wednesday, playing it down here in Austin, Texas, at the 6th Street, the Chuggin' Monkey, every Wednesday from 9 to 12 p.m. The Three Shoes Posse Band.
It's a great show. I just went and saw him play last night. Very enjoyable.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so here we go, folks. Welcome.
Hey, that's me?
Yes, sir.
The idea of no government, very interesting. Sounds good. Who do I go to if I'm assaulted or my car is stolen?
That's the point.
That's a very good question. I'm glad you brought it up. First of all, there is the idea of self-defense. There is that. There is not only the court of public opinion, but there is also the handgun. But more importantly, more important than how you react to a crime like that, I'd like to focus on what causes the crime in the first place. And the sad fact is the overwhelming majority of crimes in this country are either a direct or indirect result of police action themselves, like the war on drugs.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the war on drugs, about 80% of our crime would just evaporate like that.
That's right.
There would be no police force to maintain order, but there also wouldn't be the necessity of one either, because the police wouldn't be causing the crimes in the first place.
Well,
yeah, but some people are just mean bastards.
That's true.
What do you do about them?
I want to just throw this in, that in a non-government world, there could be private security agencies and private agencies that do the same thing and go out there and
mean bastards and doing shit. So how do you regulate that?
You're right. There are always going to be people out there who are defective.
In a private manner, you could have private companies could be doing investigations. And
they have to agree to who's going to arbitrate. If they're just mean son of a bitches, they're not even going to talk to you.
Let's go to history. In history, before the FBI was created, there was a national detective agency called Pinkerton, and there were other detective agencies and protective agencies. And who was arbitrating? Well, we did have a system of courts for that, and that's basically how it works.
We still
I don't think those courts equal government. I mean,
that's the thing.
I'm on the no government, but I just don't see how it would ever work in facing a subject like this.
Well, listen. I have some information on this, okay? Because I've been doing a lot of research on courts and different types of court systems and grand juries. There's a man named Tim Valentine. Okay, he's a congressman from North Carolina, and he's part of the Fox School of Business. If you look up Tim Valentine and privatization of the court systems, there's a whole school, a libertarian school of business, where it talks about privatizing a law itself, privatizing the court system, so there would still be a system in place. It wouldn't just be total chaotic anarchy. Okay, this is one aspect of libertarianism.
I take issue with the phrase chaotic anarchy. Anarchy simply means no state. It doesn't mean chaos.
No, I know. I'm just saying people think of anarchy
sir, you bring
as
up a good
chaotic.
point that there are some people out there who are just mean sons of bitches, and nothing's going to change that. The thing is, the government creates a lot more mean sons of bitches than it prevents. And there's always going to be people out there that just can't be reined in, and for that, there's your 45. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but those courts,
actually,
the government, they are.
That's right, and that's why I'm against it. I don't want any courts.
I believe the courts. So you're against the Constitution?
I am against the Constitution, absolutely. I don't think there should be any government at all. But the court of public opinion is much more powerful than any legal court, in my opinion. And people who step out of line.
That is extremely interesting. I've never heard it put that way. I mean, wow. Who knows, maybe it worked. But let me ask you something about the video you showed a clip of. Did those agents, did they say that was their identity when they handed that card, that they were the person on the card?
Yes, they did, and most of the agents, if they even were agents, refused to identify themselves. And on the video, see, a lot of what happened didn't get caught on video because there was some things that went on before our client pulled the video camera out, but 3 of the agents submitted the same business card, identified themselves as the same person. One of them was a woman, okay, oddly enough, but they basically refused to identify themselves, for the most part. They just wouldn't identify themselves. And our client repeatedly asked, who are you, what's your name, can I see some identification, and they basically just refused to identify themselves.
Okay, because I didn't see any of that on the video. That's not on the video, though, right?
Well, actually, yeah, it is. The audio may have been a little low, but if you might go back to the archive and listen, our client asked pretty much all of them, what is your name? And they turned and walked away. Yeah. They refused to give their name, except for that one guy. The one guy gave a business card, but none of the rest of them gave their name when he asked them to. They refused to identify.
So your point is, if they do that, then they can just be bandits.
Absolutely.
Disguised as IRS.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, another point was, it looked like on the video when he asked them to leave that they left.
Well, no, actually, that's not true. He told them several times, this is private property, this is private property, and they wouldn't leave. They kept trying to ask him questions, and they kept trying to say, well, whose property is this? And our client wouldn't answer, just say, this is private property. He wouldn't wrong.
Did he tell them who he was?
No! He doesn't have to. Wait a minute, if somebody's going to come to your house, why and trying to harass you, why do you have to tell them who you are? It's your property.
How do they know it's his house? He didn't say who he was.
Well, he's just telling them it's private property, which is true.
Yeah, well, sure, maybe it is private property, but how do they know he's the owner?
he doesn't need to prove he's on there. All he has to say is it's private property. He doesn't have to prove who he is. He doesn't
trust me, I'm with you against the IRS.
Yeah, but it doesn't have anything to do with the IRS. He doesn't have to prove who he is. I mean,
yeah, sure. I mean,
yeah, but he's saying, how did these alleged agents know that this was our client's property? They don't need to know. They're on private Look, the bottom line is this. They were on private property. It is known that it's private property because you can look it up in the tax records. It's not public property. These people who said they were IRS agents knew they were on private property. When they went on there, someone said to them, this is private property, you need to leave. That's it. That's the end of story. That's all that needs to happen. He has to leave.
Follow me for just a second. I have a delivery business, and I have to go on private property all the time. And I run into big stupid jerks all the time that give me looks or tell me to leave and stuff like that. Now I got to get this information. I got to deliver the stuff to the rightful owner of the stuff. That means I got to go on private property to do it. And if somebody just says, "Get out of here," I'm like, well, I'm looking for this person. Are you this person? Just get out of here. You're on private property.
Were they threatening them before?
They were threatening them. Look, you're going there with legitimate business, and you're proving who you are. You're offering up some kind of ID, I would assume, or you have a uniform or whatever, and you're stating the nature of the nature of your business here. These people were not stating the nature of their business. They were coming there trying to inquire of our client and the other people that were there. These people were coming there asking them questions.
Thank you, sir. We're going to move on.
And not stating their business or proving who they were. They weren't proving who they were.
Let me answer one more thing about the difference between private police and public police. Suppose somebody steals your truck while you're not looking and drives off with your truck, and he wrecks it. And maybe they catch the guy. The cops might catch the guy, and they'll convict him, and then they'll fine him, and he'll have to pay $5,000 fine to the state, and he'll have to go to jail maybe for 6 months, and you'll have to pay for his stay in jail. That'll come out of your pocket too, but your truck is gone. In a private system of law, the police would be very interested in getting a $5,000 or whatever, $20,000, whatever the value of your truck is. They would try to get that back to you. The state wouldn't get a profit on the crime, but that's the way it works now. The state earns a profit every time they capture a criminal, and you lose.
Welcome.
Hello.
Well, that brought up actually a whole lot of good questions. Should there be a standardized form of ID?
No. Well, not in my opinion.
I believe there would be private companies that would offer that service. They would guarantee that you are who you say you are.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to figure, sir, pretty much whatever the government's involved with right now could be done from the private sector.
Well, right, but didn't we just have a problem with that in Iraq with privatized military?
Well, see, that's different. That's subsidies from government. That's not privatized.
And also, I want to make a point here about the IRS case, okay, versus what the caller was saying, that he's a delivery man. He's representing himself as someone from a private company coming to do business. These people in the video were representing themselves as government agents, okay?
Well,
they have a duty to prove who they are.
No, I absolutely understand that, and I understand that.
Well, we got about 20 seconds, sir. Can you make it quick?
Quickly, we've got 20 seconds.
We're about to go off the air.
Well, let's get back to the last one.
Illuminati and the Masons have you on their picture.
Thank you. I'm honored. Okay, folks, next week, same time, same channel. Google, thank everybody for being here. Google Jeff Davis Show.
Channel on Channel 11, and we're coming on Thursdays instead of Tuesdays at what time?
7 o'clock.
What time?
7 o'clock p.m.
All right. Now everybody here, let them make some noise that you hear. Say yeah. Yeah. God bless you. Yeah.
Thank you.